Why is photography so important? It's because the moments are important and we relive them through our memory, through our storytelling and through great images. I love the effect that good photography has on people. When I show them an image for the first time and I see the face light up, that's when I know I've got the best job in the world. I've seen people's mood switch in a heartbeat just from seeing a picture that really touches them. I can't tell you, it's so rewarding to see. So how do I make people lose that self-conscious feeling that we all get the minute the camera lens is aiming right at you? Look, we all have to realise that nearly everybody feels that fear of the lens. Unless you're Naomi Campbell or George Clooney, it's going to make you nervous. But if, say, I'm shooting a wedding, my job is to make it much less about the camera and much more about the experience that the couple are having on their wedding day. We have this amazing day that seems to have been forever in the planning, and suddenly it's here, it's happening, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. So if I can offer a calming presence, that's great. If I can help you enjoy the day, smile, relax, even be comfortable in front of the camera, then that's great. That's when the magic can start to happen. Individual images can be beautiful, but it's every bit as important that your final wedding art book tells the story of your wedding day experience perfectly. I don't want people trooping off to have the picture taken, lining up with awkward posing and forced smiles. A wedding day has so much positive energy, and if I can use all this great energy and make the place where the camera is into the place where everybody at the wedding wants to be. Because if you're having fun, if you're connecting with me and all the people around you, that's when I can make those breathtaking images happen for you. It all comes down to trust, because if you trust me, then you can relax with me, even in front of the camera. So what are the key tips that I can give a bride and groom to help them with a wedding day? Everything takes longer than you think on a wedding day, and the greatest enemy of great pictures is a lack of time. So if you can push for your hair and makeup to begin a little sooner in the day, if you can edge the start time for your wedding breakfast back another 30 minutes, because believe me, the guests won't mind. In fact, they'll appreciate that food all the more if they've had to wait that little bit longer for it. But if your hairdresser talks so much that it's going to add 20 minutes to the time in the morning, if you get to the church and the vicar's rushing you up the aisle and he's saying to me, no time for pictures, if I've got the hotel manager whispering in my ear while I'm trying to take this great image for you, that if I don't have you back and all your guests back in the main room for the wedding breakfast in 5 minutes, the big chef's coming out with a meat cleaver, and that's going to affect the pictures. So you've got to build in time at every step of the day. False tan. Ladies, I can't tell you how much you need to be careful with false tan. You have to remember that in the pictures you're wearing a pure white dress. You stood next to your new husband with natural skin colour, and these are the comparisons for your skin colour. So if you're not careful, your golden Saint-Tropez is going to make you look so orange with these two comparisons next to you in the picture. Please don't ask me for 2,000 images. You don't need 2,000 pictures, you really don't. I don't know when quantity started becoming more important than quality. Actually, I do know when that happened. It became the norm when digital photography came in, and suddenly you didn't need a diploma or all the technical knowledge to become a wedding photographer. Because now you don't have to wait a week to get your pictures back. You can see them right then, right there, right on the back of your digital camera. So now we've got people who are suddenly brave enough to shoot a wedding, but crucially, they're not good enough. So they compensated by being the last person to leave your wedding, staying there till gone midnight, shooting non-stop, bringing the mate over, 2 people shooting, and then at the end of the wedding, they'd hand over a ton of unedited, uncrafted pictures. But if one terrible picture's worth zip, are 2,000 terrible pictures worth any more? Would you swap 2,000 terrible pictures for 10 good ones? Of course you would. But this became the norm for a while, and brides got used to this. The best photographers got frustrated because they didn't know how to deal with this new wave of photographers that seemingly gave 10 times more for 10 times less money. So for a while, finding a wedding photographer was pretty easy. There were so many of them. But finding the good ones, it's like trying to find the Where's Wally character. They were hidden in this mass of terrible photographers. However, I'm glad to say the tide is turning. Bad photographers are being found out. They just can't do what the brides of today demand. And what they're demanding is not just great images, but they want someone who can run their wedding in a natural, fun, relaxed way. They want great editing and Photoshop skills. They want high-end design skills, because putting the wedding book together in a way that tells the story of your day is every bit as important as taking the beautiful pictures in the first place. Because that final wedding art book that you take away at the end of your wedding, it has to be stunning. And for a while, brides couldn't ask for what I provide because they didn't know it existed. They couldn't even imagine it, how beautifully I can present their pictures in a way that very few other photographers can. But now they're learning the difference between good and bad photographers. And I'll be honest, I think at least 80% of the wedding photographers out there are just not good enough for the job. And because of this, too many brides are suffering because of their lack of professionalism. I shoot for print because photographs come alive when you can see them and feel them and touch them, and they translate from the digital image to paper and ink. I'll take around 400 pictures on the day, all well-crafted images. And then when you choose your final pictures to go into your wedding art book, then I'll take the final images, I'll bring them into Photoshop and I'll craft them again. I'll fine-tune every detail in Photoshop until you're happy with it. I'll show you the design of the wedding art book and I'll alter it, and that won't go to print until everybody is 100% happy with it. So all this, the design, the Photoshop, the consultation, the photography, it takes a lot of time. And this is why I'm now only accepting 25 weddings a year, because it's intense. And if I take on any more, I have to compromise the quality, and that's something I don't want to do. Bridezillas, I'm not sure if they're a myth, because I've certainly never met one yet. But if you are one, please don't book me. I can't work to written lists. So we plan well, we consult well, and on the day, we just let the day happen. If I'm pulling out a piece of paper with a list of names and they must have pictures, and I don't know who these people are, and I've got to go and find them, then that's interrupting the flow of the day, and the natural experience just won't happen, and the pictures will suffer. I will need you to move around the venue with me to find the best setting in the nicest light. I will need you to step onto the grass, and I will need you to enjoy it. So bring an old pair of trainers to wear for the grass. Trust me, smile, breathe deeply, enjoy the day. It's all about trusting me and trusting all your other suppliers. Speaking of other suppliers, give them a hard time before the day. Make sure they know exactly what you want and how you want things to run. If it's photographers, for example, go and see them. Have a look through the sample albums, but don't just look at those beautiful one-off pictures. Make sure you see a real wedding that they actually shot within the last 6 months. Make sure that they took the pictures you're looking at. Make sure that it's that person who's going to turn up to your wedding and take your pictures. Do they design the wedding art books themselves? And if they don't, who does? Check exactly what you get for your money. I know lots of photographers offer options and packages with 25, 30 pages in the albums, knowing that this probably isn't going to be enough. And then after the day, they try and sell you extra pages at inflated prices. Ask them if they've got backup gear. Even the best equipment can and does go wrong. Do they have insurance? What are the timelines involved to you receiving your final wedding art book? Are they happy if you email or call any of their previous clients? Read the contract that you sign with them carefully. And if they don't have a contract, that's another warning flag. Because contracts are there to protect all parties. And if they don't have a contract, that's a sign that they may be not quite as professional as what you'd want them to be. So after you've done all this, then you can relax in the build up to your wedding, because you're handing it over to wedding professionals who know exactly what you want and how you want it. Your wedding day will work. It'll come together exactly as it should, and that will be the story of your day. And I'll be there to take the pictures to prove it.